Welcome to the Empowered Podcast with Deanna Merlino, a personal development show where I will be sharing with you just how to transform yourself into the best version of you, both inside and out. From fitness and nutrition to business and positive mindset work, I'll be showing you exactly how to live your best life. I'll be keeping it as real and raw as it gets. So get ready to peel back the layers and really transform yourself under the surface, because nothing is better than finding your purpose and living this life as your true, authentic self. So I have a really fun addition to utilize as a source that I would love for you guys to do at the start of your day, every single day, to just keep you on track, help you with your goals, really get you into a positive mindset every single morning, because what we do in the morning is how we are going to shape our entire day. I have this fancy little sheet that I'm calling Day by Design, and it's an editable PDF that you're going to be able to fill out even as your day goes on if you need to. Some of it is meant to be for you to do as your day goes on. And some of the things that are in there are going to be the mood that you're feeling for the day, tracking your exercise, your water intake, and your meals. You're going to write what you're grateful for, your schedule, your goals, your get to-do list, because I don't like to say to-do list or have to do, a money tracker, and just keeping everything in one place for what you need to do today, tomorrow, and for all the days so that you can make sure that you stay on track and have the best day that you can. So in order for you guys to get this, I'm going to have you go to my website, which is www.deannamerlinofit.com. And you're going to get asked to sign up for a newsletter that you will then get this in exchange for free. So super easy. You don't have to do anything but sign up. And after that, you'll get a quick little welcome letter. And then once a month, I will send out a newsletter that is going to keep you guys up to date with me, so you can just get to see the ins and outs of what's going on in the life of Deanna Merlino and the Empowered Podcast. Can't wait for you guys to utilize this, and just can't wait to see you guys sharing it on social media as well, hitting your goals, helping others do it as well. Please take advantage of this. It will definitely be fun for everyone involved. You did it, guys. You did it. We are here. This is officially the last day of the 8-week Empowered Challenge. Seriously, take a moment to just celebrate for real. Like, be so proud of yourself. I don't care what this last 8 weeks looked like for you. Be so proud. I am so proud. I am honored to have been walking this with you. And we did it. Today is the last day. We're here. You have to just feel amazing. And you should. You have earned that. And I'm going to finish off today, the last day, with the last pillars of the book that I was talking about in the last episode. If you have no idea what I'm talking about right now, definitely go back and listen to that episode first, where I went through the first 6 pillars of a book called 12 Pillars. And today we're going to go over the last 6. So we're going to go ahead and start with that very first pillar, which is going to be a lifelong learner. A successful person is always a lifelong learner. Formal education will make you a living, for sure, but self-education will make you a fortune. You can graduate from your formal education, and the masses do, but the masses also lead lives of quiet desperation and tend to go to the grave with the song that's still inside of them, the song of their dreams. The point is that if you want to succeed in this life, formal education isn't the end-all be-all. Self-education is the key. Self-education is what you teach yourself. It is when you learn along the way so that you are constantly improving and growing. Most people don't continue to learn or grow. So the very fact that you are doing so means you are well on your way to improving your life. You being here right now, listening to this podcast, you are on your way. This is self-education. If someone is going down the wrong path, he doesn't need motivation to speed him up. He needs education to turn him around. Learning is the beginning of wealth. Learning is the beginning of health, the beginning of spirituality. Searching and learning are where the miracle process all begins. The education is self-education. Most of life is actually lived after your formal education ends. That means that the rest is up to you. But the truly successful decide to learn for the rest of their lives. Never stop learning. There are a few ways to learning that anyone can use to improve their lives. The first is to read books. The second is to learn from successful people by observation. And the third is to constantly reflect on your own experiences and learn what went wrong and what went right. At this point in the book, Michael is talking about how reading isn't for him and books are a waste of money because they are expensive. And Charles tells him that it isn't what the book cost, it's what it will cost you if you don't read. Books have been, are, and will continue to be one of the greatest learning tools in human history. It will cost you in a lot of ways if you don't read. Charles is telling him that he believes that his attitude has already cost him a decade or two of his life. I don't know what age you are as you listen to this, but I hope that sits with you. When we read books, we open ourselves to vast new worlds to explore and understand. Have you ever wanted to sit down and have dinner with a great leader or a famous thinker? Think of someone that inspires you. Well, when you read their books, you can. You open yourself up to new ideas, and new ideas are the seeds that grow in our hearts and minds, and when applied, become our achievements and successes. How will you ever grow and expand if you aren't consistently and proactively pursuing knowledge and ideas that will move your life forward? So I know I've said it several times, but again, leaders are readers, and it is so important to always keep learning. Pillar number 8 is all of life is all about sales. I know there are so many people who say, I hate sales. Sales are cringy. Well, the sooner you realize that every single aspect about life is a sale, the better off you're going to be. Anyone can get better at sales if they apply themselves to try and be better. But like I just said, the very first thing is to even realize that everything is a sale. Better to understand sales as the concept of influence. Influence is the key to a successful life. If you want to succeed, you must learn the art and skill of influencing others. When you do that, then you will be successful. When you need to succeed, it is usually dependent upon working with or through other people. It is not something that we can do on our own. From the time we are born, we are successfully reaching our goals by influencing others. As we grow, we then hone those skills. For example, a baby influences his or her parents to feed him or change their diaper. A child influences his or her parents for that bike that they wanted. A teenager influences the person that they like so that they can get a date. A person who graduated college influences their potential boss to give them a job. Salespeople must influence their prospective buyers while they want a paycheck. So as you can see, regardless of what you're doing, all of life is a sale and all of sale is an influence. The key to influencing others is to have others perceive you as a person of talent and virtue. Talent and virtue are the same thing as character and skill, essentially. So if you are a person of strong character and increasing your skill always, then you will always be growing your influence. Whether you are selling a product or selling yourself, which we do every day, you have to know that those skills of sales are pretty simple, but also pretty important. So what are the skills of sales? Know your stuff. Talk to lots of people, be persistent, and never take no for an answer. You cannot speak about something that you don't know. So you can't share about something that you don't feel deeply about. You cannot talk about something that you do not have or you have not used before, and you cannot give something away if you don't possess it yourself. To give it and share it, and for it to be effective, you first need to have it. So if you are someone who's trying to sell a product, you have to know it inside and out. If you don't know it yet, learn it. It's part of the process. Believe in it, feel it. And the same is true if you're not selling a product, but you're just selling yourself. As for talking to lots of people and succeeding in sales, simply just talk to lots of people every single day. And guess what? There are lots of people out there. Obviously, you want to be talking to qualified people. Don't waste your time. But there is the law of numbers. It all is mathematical. A certain percentage of people will want to work with you or buy from you. So if 10% of the people do, you will do much better if you talk to 40 people in a day than if you talk to 10 people a day. Again, it all comes down to numbers. And lastly, never take no. Just like a child. What does the word no mean to a child? Literally nothing. The idea is that most people just aren't persistent enough to succeed in sales or to succeed in life for that matter. Pillar number 9 is income seldom exceeds personal development. A really good example here is that most lottery winners lose it all. Literally, every time someone wins the lottery, almost always they end up losing it and going bankrupt again because they have not changed who they are as a person. They have not changed their thoughts, their actions, their relationship with money, their behaviors. They haven't changed their habits. They are still the same person at the core. Versus when you earn it the old-fashioned way. After you become a millionaire, you could give it all away because what's important is not the $1 million. What's important is the person you have become in the process of becoming a millionaire. So essentially, if you lost that money or if you gave it away, it's okay because the person you have become knows how to make $1 million and you could do it again. That's why most millionaires are multimillionaires. Making the $1 million took personal growth to get you there. So you can do it again if you need to. So income does seldom exceed personal development. If you want to make $1 million, you had better grow personally to the point where you are $1 million person. You have to love what you become. You do not love the money. Money does not take away all of the hardships in life. In fact, there's going to be more that cost more. At this point in the book, Michael's saying, I just wish I knew how to make more money. And Charles tells him, he says, one of the greatest secrets to wealth building that the world has ever known. Profits are better than wages. I'm going to say that again. Profits are better than wages. Do you want to make $1 million in a year? Well, ask yourself a question. If you sold 10 times what you do right now, would you make $1 million? Probably not. What about the owner of the company that you work for? If all of the salespeople sold 3 times what they do now, do you think that they would make $1 million in a year? Probably easily the answer is an astounding yes. So that tells you that you are on a wage system. The owner of the company is on a profit system. And as I just described, profits are better than wages. So how do you get profits rather than wages? You must work for yourself. I could say that until I'm blue in the face. It is my goal to create as many streams of income as humanly possible. As long as you work for someone else, you won't make that much money. Sure, there are the professional athletes and the very few out there who do that, but it statistically does not stand. 99% of the wealthy became wealthy by working for themselves and capturing the profits. 99%. So instead of just starting over, because a lot of us don't have the luxury of starting over, there is an alternative to just quitting and starting over. Work your full-time job and work part-time on your fortune. Start a side hustle. Start a business on the side and grow it until it's at a point where you could do it full-time. I'm sure that you have had a few ideas in your lifetime that have popped up from time to time of, well, I could do this, but you've never done them. Especially with all the obligations that we have, the family and just the stresses and the time pressures. It would definitely be hard, but anything of significance is going to be hard. Remember, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. It's your choice. Do you want to work hard, start your own business, grow it into a great enterprise, and then achieve financial independence? Or do you want to stay where you are and hope the government or the company that you work for has enough money to dole out a little bit to you each month just to get by? Financial independence is the ability to live from the income of your own personal resources. That is in its basic form. You either pay yourself or you get paid by someone else now and in the future. Let that sink in for a moment. All right, pillar number 10 is all about communication. Since success is based on human relationships, communication is the foundation for people working together. It is extremely important. Communication is 2 or more people working together to find the common ground of understanding. And when they find that common ground, they are positioned to have tremendous power together. Whether it is talking about a marriage, a relationship, a business relationship, or parents talking to their children, everyone is different. People are so different. Even if you like each other, you're still different. When we get moving forward in our relationships, it can be hard to communicate when times are going well, let alone when times are not going so well. One of the reasons that it is so hard is because people aren't looking at it as a practice where two people are trying to find common ground. Most of the time, each person is fighting to get their other person to give up their ground and come over to your ground. And then it just becomes a turf battle and no one's listening and no one's winning. But what if you treated every single relationship in your life like you did when you first started dating? It's human nature for us to give more and listen more and give more time, attention, and understanding and try to find that common ground with someone when you're still trying to close the deal. That sounds kind of crappy, but it's definitely the truth. So if you want to communicate well with anyone, work to find common ground, and regardless, it will be work. Communication isn't just what you say, it's also how you say it, when you say it, and the receptiveness of who you say it to. That's just part of it. The other part is making sure that you are really listening. It isn't just the meaning of the words, it is also the tone. Are you talking down to that person because they're likely not going to listen to you? It's also about timing. Am I trying to tell my husband something while he's watching the football game? He's probably not going to listen. If he's trying to tell me something while I'm trying to write for my podcast, I'm probably not going to listen. Make sure that the person is ready and able to hear what it is that you have to say to them. Or if they aren't, save it for later. Just say it another time. The most important thing is listening. Sure, we all have listening skills, but it isn't the skill itself. It's the character behind the skill. You have to care enough and value the other person enough to want to listen. Most people aren't listening. They are just waiting for the other person to take a breath so they can interrupt them and speak their own mind. It's kind of just human nature. What would happen if you were actually listening rather than just waiting for your chance, them to take that breath so you can jump in and serve your alternative opinion? What would happen if you tried to see it their way and understand them? It would change the entire nature of the relationship. Pillar 11 is that the world can always use one more great leader. See, leadership is such a misunderstood concept. Most people, when they hear the term great leader, they're thinking of people who lead nations, corporations, social movements, the government, whatever. But anybody can be a great leader because all leadership means is that you have mastered the art of influencing others. We talked about this influence. Leading others to help them change their thoughts, beliefs, and actions for the better. Which we are all capable of this, but if we are in a position to influence others, whether our partners, our kids, people at work, our clients, then you should desire and work on becoming a leader in life. Not only because you will make a difference, but it is also leaders that enjoy the most out of life. Leaders make a difference, rise to the highest levels, enjoy the bulk of the wealth, and have the best relationships. Leaders get to experience life to its fullest. So you may be asking, how do I become a great leader? It starts with those principles of influence like we talked about, the character and the skills, the sales and the leadership, they're similar, both rooted in influence. So managers, they tend to help people see themselves as they are. Leaders help people see themselves better than they are. Mid-level is where the managers are at. While the people who rise to the top, those are the leaders, and it reflects in their pay and their responsibilities. If you want to get paid more, bring more value to others by becoming a better leader. Leaders talk about what could be, and they take the steps to help people become what they could be. Another leadership principle is to learn to help people with more than just their jobs, help them with their lives. Great leaders are interested in people in general, not just for what they can get from them. The leader-follower relationship is built on trust. No one will follow you if they don't trust you. So take a close look at your life and make sure it is filled with integrity. Make sure you practice what you preach. Also, talking about optimism, people want to know that where you want to take them is better than where they currently are. If you're just getting started in this leadership journey, you might be thinking, well, I'm not even where I want to be. How am I going to be helping people with where they want to be? All you have to know is where you are going. Great leaders learn optimistic vision. A leader knows where they are. That's realism, but they also know how to get to a better destination. That is an optimistic vision. Look at your relationship, for example, what would you like it to be? Create a vision for what it could be, knowing what it is, and then communicate that vision and begin to work on it. This works for any situation. Create a positive vision of the future, develop a plan to get there, communicate it, and then work on that plan. This is the very last pillar. And this pillar is about leaving a legacy. So I want to make sure that I don't give up the full plot line of this book, because even though I just went into it pretty deep, I truly hope you guys read it. It was an incredible book. I highly recommend reading it. But in the end, Charlie writes Michael a letter, and I'm going to read this letter to you. One thing I realized this past year is how short life is. It seemed like just yesterday that I was a schoolboy playing with my friends. It seems such a short time ago that I fell in love with my Sandra and we began our family. Such a short time ago, I was building my businesses and selling them, building my fortune. And even when I finally retired 15 years ago, it felt like I had so much time left. The brevity of life is its biggest surprise. So what to make of all the pillars I have taught you so far, the very pillars of success that have guided my life so well, they all wrap up nicely and are perfected by the final pillar. Leave a legacy. We are but breezes of wind that blow through this world, here one day and gone the next. No one knows how long they will live. You cannot choose how long you will live, but you can choose how well you will live. I believe that how well you live is bound inherently with how much you leave for others who come behind you and who get to follow your path. I was never a self-made man. I do not believe that there is such a thing. I believe that each one of us walks along the path that has been prepared by others who have gone before us. My goal in life has been to live it in such a way that it would serve those who have come after me, to blaze a trail that would allow others to move forward in their lives faster than if they had to blaze that trail alone by themselves. It has been my job to leave a legacy by teaching others the pillars of success, and not just to teach them, but to live them. My actions are the proof that my words are true. We must live out the philosophies we passionately believe in and have been sharing with others. In doing so, we give them the credence they need to be effective. So many people waste their short lives here and then spend their final days weighed down with regret. There is no more time to go back and redo their lives. There is nothing left but a wish for more time, a wish that will never be fulfilled. We all have two choices as we live. We can make a living or we can design a life. There are many who spend their lives making a living. They go off to work each day with no vision for what their lives could become, and before they know it, their lives are over. And some are so fearful that the dreams they do have will forever go unfulfilled because they never have the courage to take a risk that would enable them to reach their goals and live their dreams. You can be different, though. You can design your life. Yes, it would have been better if you had started earlier. The earlier, the better. But even at 40 years old, you have a good 40 years left. You can accomplish tremendous things in your remaining years if you will design them before you live them. What will make them powerful would be if you design a life based on the pillars of success that I just taught you, with the goal of leaving a legacy for others to follow. Live a life that will help others spiritually, intellectually, physically, financially, and relationally. Live a life that serves and is an example with what an exceptional life can look like. Let others lead the small lives, but not you. Let others argue over small things, but not you. Let others cry over small hurts, but not you. Let others leave their future in someone else's hands, but not you. Leaving a legacy is like planting a tree. As that seed grows into a tree, it will provide seeds so that future generations can then plant their own tree. You have your entire life ahead of you. Live it to the fullest potential that you have. My legacy is fulfilled in part by teaching you how to live your best life. Your legacy will be to do the same for others. Give of yourself. Sacrifice for the good of others. Take the time to help others and to teach them. Be patient, loving, and loyal. You are a wonderful person with a kind and generous heart. You have touched my heart, and hopefully I have touched yours with an impression that will help you create your own lasting ripple. Guys, listen back to these and truly take them in. Like, sit down and take them in. This entire book is the reason why I started this podcast. Take it in. So now that I'm done with my little school, I just want to go back to the fact that you just completed a full 8 weeks of this challenge. And whatever you do, maintain it. Guys, make a lifestyle of it. Don't fall off or throw away all your hard work just because it's over. It's way easier to do that, yes, but it will only hurt you now and in the future. You can continue your membership in the DM Fit app and continue to consistently work out with new exercises that are always changing. Or if you're listening to this and you didn't partake in the challenge, now is a great time to subscribe to the app and get yourself on an exercise regimen as well. But whatever that looks like for you, just take what you have learned these last weeks and apply it. That is the key to success. I could tell you all these things till I'm blue in the face. You can read it and say, wow, that was great. But until you actually apply it into your own life, nothing is going to change. Stop settling on mediocre and just getting by. You have every single tool now to create your dream life. Choose today to be that day that it all changes. Was it by chance or by grand design that led you to this challenge in this podcast? Either way, I know that your life doesn't have to be the same any longer. You have the rest of your life ahead of you. You can make whatever you like of it. There is so much more that you can do for yourself and others, so go do it. Empowered fam, I am so excited for the juicy episodes that will be coming soon now that these challenges are over. I love you all so much. Let's go into next month with a bang. Have an amazing day. Have an even more incredible week. Please just go into this knowing that you are ready to make a change. The time is now. I love you. See you next Monday. Thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. If you want to find out more, you can follow me on Instagram at Empowered with Deanna and my personal page, Fit Deanna Lolita. You can also visit me on my website, which is deannamerlinofit.com. Make sure that whatever platform you guys are listening on, please rate and subscribe. And this means so much to me. It's going to help get me out there to help so many other people. I'm so grateful that you're here with me on this journey of wellness and self-empowerment. I cannot promise that it will always be easy, but I do know that it will always be worth it. Stick with me, and together, let's start living as the version of us that we were meant to be. Because the world is waiting for your gifts, and you deserve to live the life of your wildest dreams and beyond. So friends, let's get empowered.